What's up guys, Brandon Johnson here again, and thanks for joining. Today we're looking at a classic fiddle tune, St. Anne's Reel. So this is like a traditional fiddle tune. This is a great standard to know. And I didn't know this one until I learned it recently. And it's played with no capo, and it's primarily played out of the open D major chord position. It's really, really good for your chops because it's very challenging. And there's a couple of challenging intervals in there. It has a very traditional feel to it, almost a classical feel. It just has kind of a backbeat feel to it, which makes it really, really cool. So I hope you enjoy this one. Let's check it out. Okay, let's check out St. Anne's Reel. This is such a cool melody. And when we look at measure number 1, you'll see a 2-note pickup, and it's actually a hammer-on a downstroke on that high E string, and we're going from the open E to the 2nd fret E. Kind of like that. So I just do a little hammer on with my index finger. And you'll see that there's actually 2 16th notes or an 8th note rest after that. So there's an 8th note rest there in the pickup measure before we go into measure number 1. Now, since your index finger is already on the 2nd fret E string, you're just going to leave it there after the hammer on. And this entire melody is really played around this kind of open D chord position. So a lot of this melody is going to take place around these notes. So you really want to kind of hold that chord shape in your mind when you're thinking about this melody. I think it really helps a lot. So we're playing that hammer on. And then at the beginning of measure number 1, over the D chord, this whole measure is a D chord, you're going to see 2nd fret high E to 3rd fret high E to 2nd fret high E. Okay, so again, we're just following this D chord shape here. See that 16th note rest there, and then you'll see another 2nd fret G on a downstroke. So I actually like to do 2 downstrokes in a row right here. So and that's just personal preference. If you wanted to do alternating right there, you could. Either one works, but my preference is the double downstroke. So you'll see that 2nd fret G, and then a 16th note rest, and then another 2nd fret G, and those are both going to be on downstrokes. Now keep in mind this pickup, you're going to be playing that open E to 2nd fret E hammer on. You're going to be playing that slightly before the 1 of measure number 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4. One, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4. One, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4. Okay, let's go on to measure number 2. Okay, and we look at measure number 2 now. You're going to see an open G to 2nd fret G to start. And I like to start this little run with my index finger. And at the end of measure number 1, you're coming off of a 16th note rest. So you're going to have a little bit of time to go to this open G here. And then you'll see a rest in the middle there, and that's actually going to be a 1/4 note rest. So we're going to play that 4th fret D, and then we're going to play another 4th fret D after that rest. Of course, you'll see the pickup there, which I put into measure number 2. It's actually the pickup going into measure number 3. And it's the exact same that we played at the beginning of measure number 1, at the beginning of the tune, which is an open E to 2nd fret E hammer-on. You'll notice right there that 2nd fret G to 4th fret D, that's kind of the same position that we were playing in measure number 1 when we were doing that, that whole thing. Of course, measure number 2 is a G for 2 quarter notes and then a D at the end for the last 2 quarter notes. And of course, that open B to 2nd fret B to 3rd fret B, that's it. Those are notes out of the D major scale, and we're playing out of that D major chord position. Okay, let's play measure number 2 now, start to finish. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4. All right, let's look at measures 1 and 2 now, all the way through. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and that brings us into measure number 3. Okay, when we look at measure number 3 now, you'll notice that measure number 3 and measure number 1 are identical. The only difference is at the end of measure number 3, there's going to be an open G. And that open G is going to be a 16th note. And the reason we're playing that open G at the end is because that's going to lead us into a turnaround lick in measure number 4. There's your open G right there at the end. Now you'll notice we're not playing the pickup measure because the pickup is in measure number 2. So in this case, we're just going to start on the 2nd fret high E, and then we're going to continue the lick the same way we did in measure number 1. This part was actually kind of tough to me when I first learned it because when we go into measure number 4, right, so the transition between measures 3 and 4 is actually going to be an unbroken chain of 16th notes. Okay, so let's play measure number 3 now, all the way through. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and that leads us into measure number 4. Okay, when we look at measure number 4 now, this is really just a turnaround measure. And the chords are G, A7, D, which is kind of a typical bluegrass, turnaround type of thing. It's like, it just kind of has that turnaround feel to it. And so the lead part here, the melody, is really gonna mimic that turnaround feel. Okay, so we're gonna start on that B string on a downstroke, open B. Now we're going to go to the 3rd fret B to 2nd fret B to 3rd fret B. So it's kind of a... Now we're going to hit that open E, and then 2nd fret B to 3rd fret B again. So it's kind of a... We're coming off of that. There's actually an open G at the end of measure number 3. So that's going to kind of initiate this turnaround lick here. And then in measure number 4, we're going to land on that open B on a downstroke. So I'm playing this entire thing with my index finger and my middle finger here. And that's going to take some getting used to, and particularly the transition between measures 3 and 4 is the tough part here. So, all right, let's look at measures 3 and 4 now, start to finish. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4. One, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4. One, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4. All right, let's look at all of part A, start to finish. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4. One, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4. One, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and that brings us into part B.